Welcome to another episode on this podcast. Today I'm doing a special edition with PKs. If you don't know PKs simply stands for Pastor's Kids. And because I'm a pastor's kid myself, I want us to talk about some things that a lot of people take for granted or don't even know that happens to us, pastor's kids. So today I have with me Gloria.
Hi.
And I have with me my own pastor, Pastor Benjamin.
Hello.
Pastor Benjamin Nyaming, the youngest pastor, men call Bebre. and then I have my own sister, Annie. Annie is the sister of Pastor Benjamin, Mrs. Veltas.
Hello.
I love to call her Mrs. because I love to see young Mrs. That's not to put pressure on anyone, please. Take your time and get it right. So today we are doing a special edition talking about how it feels to be a pastor's kid. Do you feel like you are a special kid with a special need, being a pastor's kid? Pastor?
Oh, at least let the ladies go first.
Honey, do you think that you are a privileged child to be a pastor's kid?
I don't feel like I'm privileged, but the sentence that you said,
Yeah, a special kid with a special need.
I think that's relatable more.
Okay.
So yeah.
Gloria, do you think that you are, first of all, a privileged kid to be born to a pastor,
Not at all.
but you are a special kid with a special need?
I think I would agree with that more,
Yeah.
just like Anita said,
Yeah.
indeed.
Pastor?
Depends on what you mean by special. I will say that as a pastor's kid, we're in a unique position to not just see the ministry from the inside, but to see everything else that happens outside as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so you might call that a privilege, or
Mhm.
call it a blessing actually,
Mm-hmm.
to see things that other people don't see,
Mm-hmm.
and to be in a position that's very unique as
Mhm.
a pastor's kid.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that you have a normal life?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
My life is not normal. When I see how my parents are always doing their ministry and helping others, sometimes you're like, I just want to spend time with my parents, but I can't. Because they have to do something or visit someone, or someone is sick, or someone will call. There's always something, you know. So
Charlie, I feel you. Honestly, I feel her. Oh. I've been there when you're like, they are souls. Me too, I'm a soul. You understand? Pastor, do you think you have a normal life?
I wouldn't call it normal, but I think you can both say that it's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Different.
Okay,
Yeah.
so does your father involve you in doing ministry? Now, don't talk to me as a pastor.
Mhm.
Talk to me as Benjamin.
Mhm.
I'll come to that side, but talk to me as Benjamin. Does your papa involve you in doing ministry?
I have a question about that. Do you mean like taking us
Alongside
around?
when it comes to doing ministry? Let's say papa has an invitation to minister somewhere. You think that he's carrying you guys along. You think that he's not just a pastor to the people, but he's also a pastor to you. And then he carries you guys, like he's
Yeah.
growing the ministry with you guys. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, from what I can remember to now is that we were asked, or I was asked, oh, I'm going there, would you like to come? But most of the time, because I was part of the choir or part of the teaching for
Yeah.
kids, so then it was automatically, I need to say no because I have a responsibility to do.
Okay.
So I was asked
Okay.
to do or to go along,
Okay.
but yeah, let's say, yeah.
Gloria, do you feel like your parents are carrying you along in ministry?
good question. I would say yes and no.
Okay.
Like before, we have two branches of our church, right?
Mhm.
And then he will go to the other side,
Mhm.
but also knowing that it's a very small church, they're still growing. So sometimes I would go along with him to translate, to lead worship, to lead praises, and now it has dimmed out a bit. So yeah.
And are you all doing this because you love to do it or because you have no choice? I told you I'm going to press your neck today. Are you all doing this? Let's just say, quote unquote, it's just a scenario. You were not born to a parent with a call, would you have done it? Would you have been singing in the church? Would you have been translating in the church? Would you have been teaching the Sundays? Would you have that passion to teach like you do?
Could I answer that? Even before my father was ordained as a pastor, one thing that we noticed at home was how dedicated and how diligent he was in the faith as well. So part of the reason why I'm a Christian is because of the influence that my parents gave me. For example, and I know that Anita relates to this as well, we would be sleeping and then one of us would wake up and would hear our father praying. Or whenever we go downstairs, we see the Bible open. So from a young age already, we knew, oh, this Jesus is important to my father. And as a kid, you naturally want to know what this Jesus is about. So it's part of being raised in a family that puts Jesus front and center. And even before my father was ordained as a pastor, we still saw the quote unquote the pastoral work.
Okay, before he was in the front line. Okay.
Meaning he would shepherd us at home, teach us about the Bible, and really practically live out the faith that we proclaim today.
I think to add on that, I think what's really important is that if your parents are really reflecting Christ, so without a calling or with a calling, are they really living like Christ? And I think that really plays a role in how you're going to perceive things about church. So imagine that, as you said, you have really the good foundation about a Christ-like father, mother, pastor, elder. If you see that, then you'll be more encouraged to take a role of a church activity on yourself. But if you don't have that, you'll be like, why should I even bother to include myself in doing things? So I think that plays a big role. And then for me personally, to be a Sunday school teacher, it was something that I wanted to do. Because I felt like, I want to
help
teach
the
them the
kids.
right things and that there is nothing hidden or something. So that was more out of my own desire to do that. But for example, imagine that I was maybe forced to be an usher or something. I will plain say, sorry, but this is not something I like doing. Or I will not force myself to do it to please maybe my parents. Also.
Could I chip in as well?
Say that again.
About your parents involve you into the ministry as well. Since I was the youngest, I didn't have much responsibilities to do. Everything was put on the side of my sister. So if my dad would ask me, I'm going to this church event, would you come with me? I would say, of course.
So it was not like, I'm going to this event, you are coming along.
No.
And it was not like, I'm going to this event, bye-bye, see you later. There was always the opportunity for you to come or not to come.
And maybe to chip in again, unless it was maybe something that it was not much time left. So then you understand, okay, he cannot, maybe he had like a busy schedule throughout the week and then forgot to say, it's something that, I'm going there. So guys, go to church and do this and this. So
Baby sis, do you think you would have been doing all that if you were not born to a family or to a parents that had a calling on their lives?
I have to be careful how I answer this question. No, I'm joking. I think also before my dad was a pastor, I used to watch my mom go to choir practice and everything. And I think that also inspired me. I'll be singing in the house and then she'll be like, you be in the choir? Me, I was like, no, I don't like singing in front because I'm quite shy sometimes. But then I think at the age of 13, I heard a voice like, you have to join the choir.
Wow.
And I was like,
who
that?
Who that?
It's who? And then I think from there on, my ministry started building in the Lord. So I think also the impact of what I
think picking up from you guys, it's more of seeing than saying or than instructing. It's more of seeing, and all of you have been impacted by the doings rather than the words, which is very, very powerful. Do you sometimes keep up appearances? Like, daddy really did you bad, mommy really did you bad, and we have to come to church and you have to like keep up appearance. Cover it up.
I think somehow it's part of it. It's weird to say, but I'm just.
And then that is the day that Papa will preach so powerfully, like it will go you. You're like, look at him there. What you did to me now? You're there preaching like powerful message.
No, to be honest, I think sometimes it's like, sometimes you have to, and the reason why I'm saying that is, let's say, for example, the king and their children. Do we really think that they are always pampered and
No.
being nice to?
No.
But when they come outside, they have to present themselves.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's not to fake it, but it is like,
It's part of it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
also-
part of it, or maybe I don't know how to say it. It's like I don't know how to say it actually.
Also
Yeah.
to acknowledge their humanity, because I think one of the issues that pervades throughout the church is that people put pastors, the leaders, the apostles on a platform thinking that they are angels. And it's like,
I was going to say that.
they ain't.
We ain't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was leading me to my next question. That do you feel like there's pressure on you to live to a certain standard, to live because we.
It's
The
deep.
sigh was deep.
It's
telling
deep.
It's like you are seen as holy, righteous, whatever thing you can call. So there's a certain kind of pressure on you, not just on you as a child, but as a family, to live a certain kind of way. Do you feel like that sometimes? Gloria, do you feel like that sometimes?
I feel like that all the time. It started from a really young age, and it was like, you can't do this, you can't do this. People are watching you. Your sister is going to do what you are doing. No, no, no. It was like rules upon rules upon rules. And I think sometime at the age of 18, I rebelled a little just so that people would talk more. But then I was like, nah, I repent. I
Yeah.
repent. I'm not going to
Yeah.
do that again. I'm not going to do that again. But indeed, there was this pressure of you have to be like this. And one little mistake or one little issue they see, they will use it for against you forever.
Yeah.
They don't forget. People
Oh.
don't forget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you go on.
Yeah.
I'll come back. Let me write this before I forget.
Yeah, and it's actually sad that it's like that because nowhere in the Bible is it like you have to be like this because you are pastor's kid or you're this or that. It should be a natural thing to look at us or to other people as just mere human beings. Like, why?
true.
Like, we're just humans. We're Christians. We're trying to live like Christ. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
why the need to look at us differently? That somehow I kind of see in why people would look to you differently. Because if your parents are called into a calling or a ministry, you automatically are part of that ministry somehow. So they are putting some standards on you that you should be, quote unquote, able to keep this standard or something. Not because they want to see you do something wrong, but they just expect more good or something more
Yeah.
out of you.
Yeah.
And so it's two ways. Sometimes it can feel really like a pressure, like
Yeah.
exhausting.
Yeah.
And some way it's like, I just have to be myself, but also presenting myself.
Yeah.
Awareness,
So yeah,
yeah.
awareness. It's more about
Awareness,
being
yeah.
aware
Yeah.
of what you were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to end this episode, but however, I just want you to understand that pastors' kids are like every other kids. They also need the attention from their parents, who happens to be your spiritual parents. So please, sometimes you need to understand that these children love to do what they do because their parents are showing them the example. But I think as church members, we can make it more easier for them if we acknowledge that they are also kids. And they can also make the mistakes that our children are making. And so we don't make it a headline when a pastor's kid is seen doing something that is out of the box, because your child in the house is doing the same anyways. So let's take it easy on them. And let's help them to enjoy doing what they are doing with their parents. Because some of them, genuinely, they love to do what they are doing. But some of the attitude of church members, no, it can really be boring. It can really be sometimes boring. I will share a testimony on another episode. And in your final words, it feels good to be a pastor's kid, right?
To be honest, yes. When your parents are really living the Christ-like
Yeah.
life, then it's good.
Yeah. Pastor? Feels good, right?
Exactly.
The next one, I'll give it to you very hard. Gloria, in your next world, would you want to still be a PK?
No, please. The pressure is too much. The pressure is too much.
Let me know what you think about this. If you're a PK, if you're a pastor's kid, share your experience with us. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and